And I thought I'd start with the first poem in Dreams that spell the light. It's based on my trip to Italy, called Italian Prayer. It's also the first poem in the book. I come from Orissa, or the place where my parents live now, called Bhubaneswar. It literally translates to the abode of the gods. But it's so hot now in Orissa that I feel it's probably the abode of the devils. But there are more temples per square mile in Bhubaneswar than probably, I don't know, I haven't actually done a study of temples, but you know, they're not that many. So when I went to Italy, it was not that surprising to find so many churches and cathedrals, and I would drop by on as many as I could. But I found it very difficult to pray in there, because the Indian temples, all the beautiful architecture, sculpture is on the outside. And once you go in, you sort of renounce all your external, all these distractions of the senses, and you sort of focus on not this, not that. But all these wonderful, amazing cathedrals in Italy, St. Peter's, I mean, impossible. I was just looking at extraordinary achievements in there. So this poem is about that. Italian Prayer. How does one accustomed to the cold candour of stones bend one's knee in reverence to the opulence of marble? How does one sustain the journey from Konarka to St. Peter's, from Lingaraja to Santa Maria del Fiore, from the temple of Jagannatha to the Basilica of San Marco? It is easier to let the mind autofocus when set in poverty, pain and austerity to catch a glimpse of divinity, crying out for help, the public prayer of the devotee, without any signs saying silence, or for private prayers only. Teach me how to find myself in these palaces of art, that I may learn to love and suffer with all my heart. Teach me how not to be distracted by these treasures, the tapestry of mosaics, paintings and sculptures, by Michelangelo, Botticelli, Raphael, Tintoretto, Leonardo da Vinci, Caravaggio. Teach me how to empty my desires in this Chiesa d'Oro, to pray in a corner gilded with the wealth of this world. Teach me to light a steady candle in the sanctum of this cathedral, rein in my wayward senses, and learn to pray in this temple. The next poem I've chosen is called The Black Swans. Some of you may have read or heard of the book Black Swan by Nassim Nicholas Taleb, where he refers to an event with extreme rarity, but with extreme impact in the rarity and retrospective predictability as a black swan. So according to him, a small number of black swans explain almost everything in our world, from the success of ideas and religions to the dynamics of historical events, to elements of our own personal lives. So the highly expected not happening, according to him, is also a black swan. Look into your own history, exiled from family, friends, country, betrayed by those you placed your faith, always living at the margins. Yet nothing, yes, nothing in your past pointed to the unfurling of the present. What has been, what might have been, two fractured landmasses drifting in time, acquiring individual perspectives, not parallel lines meeting in infinity. You wander down lanes of lives never lived, reconciling what might have been with reality. Is there free will, you ask as you sink, failing to swim against the tide, knowing only dead fish swim with the stream. Immense possibilities only appear to be evenly distributed. Not knowing the odds, we take risks, act against the gods. There is no way of knowing what we don't know, no way of protecting us against uncertainty. We build theories like terracotta armies, fallible guesses from fragmentary information, success or failure being always retrospective. Our limitations echo thus in memory, rearing up in dreams of the seemingly impossible, our own lives elegant black swans in full flight. The Return of the Exile, the next poem, is about the impossibility of going back. Because I often sort of think when I get very fed up with this country, one should go back. You actually can't go back, and there is a epigraph from the Quran here which says we are all returning. After years of wandering, I return to this strange place, the home I left, forgotten in the land of my birth. Nourished under alien skies, I come looking for certainties, a child alone woken by nightmares, unable to drift back to a land of dreams. Gone is the mansion, the garden I grew up in. Gone are my people, landscape of my childhood. None left here to comfort me through the long journey into light or nothingness. Redemption or oblivion, no compensation for turning back. We have hardened ourselves, grown up, no longer ask questions we do not understand. Can't we explore space and time back to when it all began? Demand to know why we were sent here, why so hard the lives given to us, some more than others, and where do we go when our time is up? Our insignificant lives tempered by the questions we ask. So this sort of questioning and not really having the answers, it sort of carries on in the next poem called Somewhere Something. We travel not to explore another country, but to return home fresh, bearing gifts. Our lives, the airports we fly from, our bodies and souls, maps and compasses, days, the journeys we make, past the continents we leave behind. Surely there is somewhere something that justifies our coming and going. Isn't that why we seek a sign from each other of experiences worth dying for, as we commune with love on the starlight, brittle with frost and the sharp taste of blood? Let's fly free, not nailed to a mast, see the universe with new eyes, not blinded by shadows that light casts.